All righty, everybody. So let's rock and roll here. So we're going to go over this presentation that I gave yesterday. Okay, here we are. So I work at Lifetime as well as having my own company. If those of you don't know that, we're going to talk about nutrition priorities, simple principles for lifelong health. All right. So a little bit about me. I have uh, been doing this for 35 years. I'd say most importantly on here, in regards to this particular conversation, I'm a precision nutrition coach level one. I've done a lot of work with a fellow by the name of Paul Check in nutrition and holistic lifestyle coaching. I'm a metabolic typing advisor. I've been doing a lot of work in the GLP-1 space. For those of you who don't know what a GLP-1 is, it's most commonly known as a medication that mimics the hormone GLP, which is Ozempic, Mounjaro, things like that. So this is my family here on the left. We now live in El Dorado Hills. Been here for a little while, and all is good. All is good. So, disclaimer: I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse, but I know a couple. So, if you have any questions, consult with your medical doctor. I will give you guidance, but I will not be, you can just check in with your doctor. All right. So, our objectives today are to highlight nutrition principles that support optimal health and performance and to identify smart steps to help you optimize your nutritional lifestyle. So, diet. Let's talk about diet for a second here. I'm not a big fan of the word diet. When I think of dieting, I think of restricting. That is what we commonly use it as, right? I'm going to diet. I'm going to cut calories. Just so y'all know, I'm not a fan of cutting calories. I'm a fan of eating more of the right foods to help your body thrive. So I am not a fan of counting calories. Like Sabrina here she likes to count things, but my goal is to count to make sure you're eating enough. So I want to make sure you're eating enough. I'm cool with counting, but let's make sure we're getting enough protein, enough calories, enough fiber, enough fats, enough electrolytes, enough water. But a lot of people are using MyFitnessPal and other technology to cut, cut, cut. And then new people often come to a gym like this and they're like, well, I'm going to start working out because I don't work out much and I overeat. So I'm going to work out more and I'm going to eat less. I'm like, that's an interesting concept. You're going to work out more and eat less. If you really think about that logically, it doesn't make sense. If I don't work out, I should be eating less. But if I work out more, I should be eating more, right? So just kind of remember that because a lot of people are starving themselves and they're not thinking they're starving themselves, but they might starve themselves for 18 hours and then eat for 6 hours, and we call that intermittent fasting. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying you kind of are doing that though. So we need food. The more you ask of your body, if we're going to start working out in the gym more, start stepping up our cardio. Kristen says, I'm doing more cardio this week. I hope we're eating more, right? Don't think we need to cut and do workouts at the same time. All right. So when I say diet, I'm really talking about the kind of foods. Thank you, Serena. She's the best. My lights just went out again. Um, so, uh, so diet is the kind of foods that a person, animal, or community habitually eats. It's nourishment. So think of your diet as your nutrition, right? But diet has many definitions. And this kind of brings us into this concept of protein. So this is going to be one of my highlights today. Um, we've all probably heard about differences and opinions and beliefs about how much protein we need. What do you think about that? You've heard this one.
Yes, yeah, someone analyzed it, I need.
Yeah. Okay, so Sabrina next to me here said, someone told you to eat 55 grams.
The nutritionist.
The nutritionist. Wow. Okay. 55
Minimum,
grams.
minimum.
Minimum now. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, minimum.
So 55 grams. Okay.
I was starving
Yep.
myself.
Yes. So let's talk about that a little bit. So who you talk to will oftentimes matter. You talk to a dietitian, they're going to probably give you a pretty low recommendation like this on the left. Remember, dietitians don't work with people that are performing at high levels. So they are generally working with sick people in hospitals. And even then I would still be concerned. But if you've ever been to a hospital, you know that the food there is probably not ideal. Uh, unless you go to Stanford. I think Stanford has pretty good
Mhm.
food, from my
They
understanding.
do.
You've seen that? Yeah, they
Oh,
have good
yeah.
food on. Oh, yeah, not everybody has that. So, but on the left, this is kind of a normal recommendation, zero point 0.8 grams per kilogram per day. You can do the math. Um, and that's for sedentary people. But now realize that anybody I work with, well, not everybody I work with works out, but um, a lot of them do. So we need to up our protein. So if you want to kind of find out what your needs are right now, just take your weight, times it by zero point 0.8. So times your weight by zero point 0.8, and it's going to be a lot more than 55. So
Figured it would.
yeah, so zero point 0.8. Some people go up to one. If you're really training hard, like bodybuilders and stuff, they're going one, like I'm 168 pounds, I think. So it would be recommended if I was to want to do like bodybuilding type stuff, doing high level training to be at one
Did you say times or divide?
times.
Okay.
Yeah. So take your weight, times it by zero point 0.8. So the research has shown that this is actually better to support tissue health, growth, repair, and performance for active people. All right, everybody got your numbers? All right. Some of you are going to be like, oh my God, that's a lot of protein, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. Right. Um, so that is our protein need. All right. So that is one of the big areas that we want to dive into a little bit more. But here's the nutrition priorities. Get enough protein, number one. I think this is really it's a big it's really mainstream right now. It's everybody's talking about protein. Anybody else notice that? Like you look on podcasts or whatever, whether you're taking a GLP-1 or not, there's just people are really into preservation and increasing muscle mass because longevity and this whole reverse aging concept, it's really at the heart of it, it's your muscle, right? No muscle, you're gonna fall. It's not gonna go well. You're not gonna get up the stairs, you're not gonna get up off the chair, you're not gonna get up off the ground. So we need muscle mass, right? And it's completely changed since I've been a trainer. I started off training clients in 1991, and I mean, women weren't even in the weight room. They were scared to death of being big. Yeah, and if anybody else remember that?
No,
No.
beyond my time.
Beyond her lifetime. All right. But Lee's 170, so she was there. Yeah. Um, looking pretty good. Those peptides are actually working. Um, but yeah, there was no women in the weight room. And that was the number one thing I heard was I don't want to get big, Brian, because the people who actually did lift weights back in the old days, 1991 being the old days, they were bodybuilders for the most part. Normal people didn't do it. They were doing jazzercise, step aerobics. They were in doing group exercise. So it's been a complete shift. I go outside in the weight room here. There's an equal number of women as men now. It's pretty wild, actually. So number one, get enough protein. Number two, hydrate well. And when I say hydrate, I wrote the note, need electrolytes. I'm not just talking about water. Okay. Number three, we want to eat fibrous carbohydrates, fibrous carbs. I'm not anti-carb. I'm anti like, you know, starchy carbs without, you know, nutrition, processed stuff, right? White flour, not a fan. Next, fuel for and recover from strenuous training. So we'll kind of touch on maybe considering having more carbs before and after your workout, depending on the person, being smart with your carbs and then supplementing wisely. We'll just touch on these things. So, main thing is this. It says aim for approximately 1 gram of protein per pound of goal body weight. So Sabrina, and I told all of you just to figure out your number right now. Take your weight times zero point 0.8. That's one equation. This is another equation, right? So you pick your goal body weight. So if my goal is I'm 168, I want to be 175. I want to gain weight. So ideally I would have more more protein in that case. All right. But these are different equations. So all three of these are different, or 1 gram protein per pound of fat-free mass. So with your numbers on your scale that you'll have, you can also look at that as another model. So all of them are fine. They're all going to be somewhat similar. Okay. Now I will tell you this. just because you follow one of these equations doesn't mean you should stuff yourself to get that in, right? If you're feeling like crap, like you're bloated, gassy, you're constipated, you probably have some issues digesting protein. You might be overcooking the protein. Protein is not equal, carbs are not equal, fats are not equal. For example, I am not a fan of whey protein. I think most people do horribly on it, but it's still the number one selling protein in this country, probably on the world. Most people don't do well on it. I do. I run food sensitivity tests, by the way. So I can do blood work. We can run some food sensitivity tests. I can do GI microbiome tests. We can actually look at stool, find out good bacteria, bad bacteria. We can do a mold test. We can run a bunch of different things. And I try to use the physicians as much as I can to take advantage of our insurance. So I will encourage people to run hormonal panels and things because doctors don't tell you. Doctors won't run those unless you are advocating for yourself. So I will, if you guys want my document on what to give to your physician, let me know. All right. But those are something to think about here for protein quantities. Benefits of protein are the following. Again, this is even, it's just whether you're on a GLP-1 or not, it's super important because we want to feel satisfied from our meals, right? Protein does that, right? It also helps with muscle maintenance and growth and body composition. You burn more calories when you eat protein as well. That's the word thermogenesis. Supports bone health, helps with blood sugar control. Because if you weren't eating enough protein, you're probably going to eat something else, right? So kind of think about that. There's only three things to eat: protein, carbs, and fats. So if you're not eating enough protein, then you're going to be eating more carbs and other things, probably more carbs. So just think protein first, all right? Helps increase resilience to stress, help healthy immune system, helps with body's natural detox process. There was a study here in 2005 that showed that folks who were following the same exact caloric intake, those who ate more protein lost 8 more pounds, and they were taking the same exact amount of calories. So sometimes people will argue, they'll say, at the end of the day, Brien, it doesn't really matter like how much protein I eat. It's just about how many calories I eat. Well, actually, that's not true. So that's actually old information. And this is not even a new study. It was 20 years ago. So calories in, calories out is a thing, but there's so many more variables that are more important, like like in inflammation, like certain foods just you know, create more inflammation, and that will cause weight gain, which we can monitor on our scale, which is why I want people to send me their numbers on a daily basis. I can pretty much predict if someone's gluten sensitive or dairy sensitive because if the weight goes up 1.5 pounds or more on the scale, and I see it a couple times, I can make a pretty good assumption that it's probably a gluten issue or a dairy issue. And then that will be confirmed when I do a food sensitivity test. So so protein is key. These are just different protein sources here. Plan and prep your proteins. They're probably not going to end up in your gut if you don't. It's easy to find carbs, chips, granola bars, pasta, super simple to find and eat. You got to work a little harder at, getting proteins, right? Downstairs, we have an amazing cafe here. Like they actually have chicken bites ready to go. They have little steak bites ready to go. So there's been moments where I I bring my lunch, but yet sometimes it's a little skimpy on the protein. I'm like, huh, I'm a little hungry right now. And I'll just go downstairs and I'll buy some additional chicken or something like that. So it's kind of nice to have that. And notice it says eat protein first. Does it, and that could be argued. If I'm working with someone who's got high blood glucose, I do like to have the fiber first. But I'd say the worst thing you could do is have the carbs first. Carbs are going to spike your sugar levels. But if we eat the protein, fat, anything first, I would say just most important is the reason why it says protein first is because sometimes you get full and you might not eat all the protein. So if you eat the carbs first, you'll be like, okay, I got my carbs, those taste good. You know, um, like bread, like that's a common thing. Go to a restaurant, bread and chips, right? Bread and chips. So those are things there. Hi, Jim. So Bread and chips are generally going to be something that people would eat first, right? Um, so we often get full on those and we might not eat our protein. Okay. Um, Supplement as needed. That means like we might need a protein powder, right? We might need uh, something to help us get our protein needs met.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Right.
doing now.
So I'm a fan of the collagen product. Like we have a phenomenal collagen product downstairs.
Got it
Yep.
2 weeks ago.
Awesome. And then we also have a plant-based protein as well.
I have that one. The vegan one.
Okay. The all-in-one vegan?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Great.
And the cinnamon.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
yeah. We have this cinnamon collagen. That I love. You ever put it in your coffee?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Okay.
I should try it. I'll try it.
All right. That's a good one. Yeah. So that's how I start. Kind of start my day. I start my day with water, electrolytes, and glutamine, creatine, and then I'll go to coffee with collagen.
Do you
Yeah.
take electrolyte drink?
Yes.
Like what?
We'll have to go downstairs and check.
Oh, okay.
Yep. All right. So yeah, but yeah, this is some of the reasons to get that protein in. So I will send you guys this handout, but additional protein resources here. All right. So there's lots of great information here, what 30 grams of protein looks like, but just so you know, it's about the palm of your hand. All right. Palm of your hand, 5 high protein meals. You can click on these links and find out more. All right. Next, we have hydration. All right, so I'm going to touch on this here. It says drink half your body weight in ounces in water per day. So if you want to figure out what that is, let's do some math. Half your body weight. So if you're 100 pounds, that means you need approximately 50 ounces. Now, the interesting thing is, then it says you need more water with exercise. The interesting thing is, one of my colleagues and friends, she's a world-renowned orthodontic doctor, dentist,
Yeah.
yeah, orthodontist. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. She's also an evolutionary biologist. She's written multiple books with other professors at Stanford. She questioned me about 3 months ago. She's like, Brien, why do you keep telling people to drink all this water? Like, well, something that's, you know, something that I've heard that we need, And she's like, do you know there's absolutely no research on half your body weight in ounces of water per day? Like, hmm, I don't know. I never looked it up, honestly. I just kind of regurgitated it. But she was right. So I did look it up, and there actually is no research on it. There's no research about 8 glasses a day. There's no research around half your body weight in water. So it is here, but just know that it's not
Evidence based.
there's not evidence base. Yes. So it's not that I don't think you need water. I just, I don't think you need that much. All right. So just something to think about. All right. So I do believe we need water first thing at the start of our day. I think we're very dehydrated at the start of our day. If you weigh yourself, you're often going to see that you're um, like, let's say you weigh yourself at night and then weigh yourself in the morning, you're probably going to be about 3 to 5 pounds less in the morning. And that's because we've lost fluids. So I believe we should do our best to hydrate well. And we should do that first thing in the morning. And then let's drink some water before meals. And then it gets a little sketchy on how much water we should be drinking. But I'm a big fan of electrolytes. I think that's more important than the water itself. Because we can drink a lot of water. And this is what she was saying. This is Dr. Sandra Kahn, who some of you know. But she was saying that people are drinking so much water, they're diluting their minerals. And that's a big deal
Right.
now. Right. So
Toxicity.
that's my point here is just we really need those electrolytes. We need salt, like pink Himalayan salt and a little bit of iodine for most people can be helpful. All right. So I do have on this slide here just some recommendations. Again, I don't know exactly where it's coming from, but this particular source says 15 cups of water per day and 11.5 cups for women, 15 for men. So it's a lot. And then it says having more salt with more exercise volume and intensity. But just take it with a grain of salt. All right. So I'm going to just cut it here, but more about hydration. I'll send you guys out this this little handout here. I'm going to send you out the whole thing, but there's more about water here. Okay. So that's it, guys, for today. So if you have any other questions, just shoot me a text or a message and we'll dive into these concepts a little bit. Okay. So we shall reconvene next week. Talk soon, everybody.
Thanks, Brian.
You got it. Bye.